Hello, I'm Nick, aka Nicrotex, and welcome to my new series entitled An Idiot Who Doesn't Know Shit About Destiny Tries to Explain Destiny. I recently played Destiny 2 for the third time in my entire life, which, provided I maintain this level of confidence throughout the entire video, qualifies me as something of an expert on the subject. Before I started playing this game a month ago, there were three things that I knew about Destiny 2. Number one, it's an FPS. Number two, space. And number three, people who play Destiny will not shut the fuck up about Destiny. More recently, however, I've started watching some streams of the game in an attempt to learn more about it because when I asked for people to actually explain the game to me, the responses I got were less than helpful. A few weeks ago, Destiny dropped some new content, and I watched these clowns and a few others for a grand total of 18 hours over the course of a single day as they pushed their way through a raid twice. I don't know why I did it, but I did weirdly enough want to support them through it, as it was more or less a long form endurance marathon that I felt compelled to see all the way through. It was a complete and total fucking waste of my time, but it did spark a strange curiosity. Eventually, just to see what all the fuss was about more than anything, I decided to boot up Destiny and play the quote-unquote tutorial portion of the game on stream. And it turns out the tutorial for Destiny 2 does a really fun thing I've never seen any other tutorial in a video game do, which is assume you actually already know how to play the fucking game. During my playthrough of this first hour or so, I ended up relying on my stream chat to tell me what the fuck was going on most of the time. Here's an example of a moment the game just hung me out to dry to illustrate my point. Reasonably early on in the game, to progress through the tutorial, you need to make your way up to this platform, in front of which is this conveniently placed pillar. The game doesn't establish that you have a double jump, and if you're playing a warlock, it neglects to tell you that it doesn't function like any double jump you've ever seen in any other video game with a double jump. In any other game, to get the height necessary to hit the platform, you need to perform the second jump at the apex of the first, to maximize the height of your total jump. Not if you're playing a warlock in Destiny, though. If you do that, all that happens is you start to immediately descend, smashing your face into the platform over and over. Instead, what you need to do is jump and then immediately jump again as soon as you leave the ground, and for some reason, that launches you into the fucking stratosphere. The game never tells you this. Instead, I got the privilege of randomly discovering it after accidentally mashing the spacebar twice in some kind of spasm of sheer frustration. And because I did it by accident, I never truly understood it, which is a detail that'll become shockingly important later. Having said all of that, though, I persisted, because even though I felt more lost than a 6-season show with a brilliant ending, the game somehow managed to remain fun the entire time, which is surprising because I'm about as good at FPS games as you'd imagine your average member of parliament to be. Somehow, the game always manages to make you feel unbelievably powerful, but not in an overpowered way. When you shoot an enemy, you see damage numbers flying off them in the hundreds, if not thousands, which triggers something in your brain that makes you feel like an unstoppable god. Don't get me wrong though, it's unbelievably inaccessible. I'm the kind of person who likes to try and learn as much on my own as I can before jumping in with other people, usually by making my way through some kind of campaign or story in a single player mode. And that aspect of my personality just makes me fundamentally incompatible with this game because you can't do that. Or rather, you can, but you'll be matched up with total randos. And if you're the type of person who, like I am, assumes the people on the other end of the muted figures you're playing with are constantly screaming that they wish you'd die a horrible death because of how badly you suck at the game, that just isn't an option for someone like me with that kind of anxiety. And so, if I wanted to continue playing it, I would have to be the one who changed because Destiny sure as fuck wasn't going to. I would have to learn to surrender myself to the mercy of not only playing with and relying on other players, but learning to be comfortable with not being on an equal footing with them. In short, I needed people better than me at the game to mentor me through it. And so I put it down, content to say I tried, but never prepared to pick it up again. Enter stage left this lunatic. This is my friend Liam, aka Avexia, and since we became friends a few months ago, the one thing I learned about him is that he just doesn't shut the fuck up about Destiny. Holy shit. After much convincing, which basically started from the second we met online right up until the moment that I finally caved, he pulled every trick in the book to get me to play with him. And so, finally, a few weeks after I did my initial Destiny stream, I jumped into Discord with Liam and another friend, Everray, and the two of them began to teach me how to play the game. This process involved nothing to do with learning anything about the story or the world. Instead, the two of them decided to take me through some of the toughest content the game has to offer in an attempt to get me some of the more valuable loot in the game. This way, I could more quickly play the endgame content that they play on a regular basis with them. Playing for the first time with other people was certainly enjoyable, and I had a great time, even though I had and still have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. The ability to ask stupid questions or have things explained to me that I would have never considered was infinitely valuable. But right now, it occurs to me that I still haven't really delivered upon my promise to explain the game to people who have no idea, so I'm going to do my best now to clarify the structure of the game as I understand it. Destiny 2 is a free-to-play, online-only, multiplayer, shared world first-person looter shooter. In short, it's shooty bangs with other people in a shared world where as you play, you get better guns and armor with bigger numbers. And the bigger the number, the bigger the bigger number. And the bigger number, the more of the game you can play. I think for the most part, the majority of the game is cooperative PvE, meaning it's you and friends or you and randos working together to complete missions, which generally involve combat and occasionally some puzzles. The game does have PvP activities as well, but I'm not going to talk about those right now because I'm a lover, not a fighter, but mainly because they scare the absolute shit out of me. But back to the PvE stuff. There are a few different types of these activities. I'll quickly talk about the four main types that I've done. First and foremost, there are campaigns, which are basically your general story missions. These flesh out the world and the characters. They typically include cutscenes and long monologues by characters who I have zero context for. My first campaign involved an apparently beloved character dying a horrific death right at the very beginning, for which I felt intensely guilty because it was literally the first time I'd ever seen the guy. When I played with Avexia and Everray, they took me through some strikes and some dungeons. Strikes are basically more challenging missions that usually end up being a sequence of moving through various environments, making your way to a reasonably challenging final boss, and kicking their ass for some sweet loot. Dungeons, however, are significantly more interesting. I've done 2 of them, and aside from the challenging combat, they include puzzle elements as well. Essentially, they're mini raids. And after all of this, you might be wondering, what is a raid? After all, watching raids is what got me into the game in the first place. Well, a raid is the, as I understand it, ultimate challenge you can undertake in Destiny. The concept of a raid is much older than Destiny itself. It's implemented in some fashion or another in many other online multiplayer games like World of Warcraft, EverQuest, etc. But in the context of Destiny, a raid is a 6-player cooperative mission that requires good communication between all players. The game gives no waypoints or explicit objectives, and players attempting a raid that they've never seen before can take anywhere from 5 to 25 hours or even more of continuous play. A team where everyone knows what they're doing can smash it out in under an hour, but when the puzzle elements are as obtuse as this enemy only drops the item I need it to if I shoot it while I'm standing in shadow while another teammate is on the 5th platform from the left while the 3rd person is looking at a specific symbol on the wall and our 4th person shoots this exact pixel on the ceiling and the 5th person who happens to have perfect pitch identifies the exact musical notes being emitted by these white boxes so the 6th player can shoot them in a specific order. All of that can take a while to figure out. And so Liam asked if I would be okay if he streamed the next time we played together, to which I naively answered, of course, before discovering that he had indeed put together a team of 6 players, which could only mean one thing. That's right. When I showed up for literally the 3rd time playing Destiny in my entire life, I was met not only by Avexia and Everray, but also Arcade Blob, a pawn called Bishop, and Mad Dog as well. And that's when I discovered we were doing the raid called Last Wish. Last Wish is a raid from Destiny 2's Forsaken expansion and is made up of 6 encounters. An encounter is generally a mixture of puzzles and combat, typically involving a boss, but not always, and in between each encounter, there's usually a quiet bit of downtime involving some platforming to take you to the next part. Failing the encounter in some way typically kills everyone on the entire team, taking you back to the beginning of that encounter. Just to give you an idea of the type of mechanics you'll come across in a raid, I'd like to use the 2nd encounter of Last Wish as an example, which is a battle against a boss called Shuro Chi. Unfortunately, I didn't record myself while playing this, so we're going to be seeing most of it from Liam's perspective, and when that differs from what I saw, I'll try my best to explain using diagrams. Here's Liam to explain how the encounter works.
So a lady is going to sing us a song, and we don't want to let her do that.
Okay.
If she finishes singing her song, we die.
She will shatter you like a glass.
There is... I just remembered the puzzle.
Guardian, down.
That was fucking
That was the
amazing.
perfect bounce, wasn't it? Okay.
Bounced off me.
So you'll see when we go in...
Okay, maybe I'll do this. When the encounter begins, the boss spawns and begins singing a song. Her song starts a timer which lasts for 4 minutes. If she completes her song at the end of 4 minutes, the entire team dies and the encounter fails. However, it's not as simple as shooting her with traditional weapons. She initially spawns with an impenetrable shield, which needs to be taken down before attempting to attack her. During this time, dozens if not hundreds of enemies appear to support her, and after the team take them all down, the boss will settle in an area where she's surrounded by 3 plates. On each plate, a crystal will spawn, which a single team member can pick up. The crystal fires a beam of light, which, when shot at a player standing on one of the other plates, forming a triangle around the boss, tears down her shield, giving a brief window in which she can finally be damaged. Standing on the plates rapidly drains that player's health, so the timing of the 3 players jumping onto those plates needs to be well communicated and simultaneous. Repeating this process twice starts the next phase of the encounter, which is more of a puzzle. Note that during this time, Shuro-Chi's song is still being sung, and the 4-minute timer is still counting down. In this part of the encounter, the team enters a room with 9 plates on the floor, arranged in a 3x3 grid. On 3 of the walls will be an image with several segments missing. The team needs to imagine the image on the walls sliding down onto the floor, and then 4 members need to step on the plates that correspond to the missing segments of the image. Once the image has been completed, the next image becomes active, and again, the team needs to imagine that image sliding down the wall onto the floor in order to identify which plates need to be stood on. Like before, the plates rapidly drain your health while standing on them, so it's imperative that everyone quickly communicates which plate they intend to take and then jumps onto them simultaneously. To complicate things, you cannot stand on the same plate twice, and to further complicate things, the room is of course filled with dozens of enemies which are all trying to kill you. Once the 3 images have been completed, Shuro-Chi's song resets, and the encounter moves back to the initial mechanic of tearing down her shield to damage her. Rinse and repeat this entire process twice more, and the encounter is complete. That all sounds well and good theoretically, but in practice, things went a little differently. The first part of the encounter went about as smoothly as possible. I tried my best to take out as many enemies as I could, and then watched as Liam, Arcade, and Mad Dog tore down the boss's shield, enabling us to rush in to damage her. One more wave of this, and then we entered the puzzle room.
Cool, so now it's puzzle room time. Okay, so picture will be on the left wall, do you see it?
Even though I'd never seen this room before, thanks to their instructions, it was immediately obvious what we needed to do. I saw an opportunity to take a plate.
Top middle.
I got bottom left. See the picture that we're referencing? You go
Yes.
middle
I'll
left.
go bottom.
I'll go middle right.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Jump on it.
Unfortunately, I was still not used to Destiny's somewhat floaty jumps and jumped completely clear of the plate, missing it entirely.
I gotta wait till everyone goes.
No, it's all good, it's all good. Nick's on it, Nick's on it, Nick's on it. We're good, we got it. Perfect. Nick, you're all over it.
Luckily, everyone stayed alive long enough to clear this image as well as the final one. And then something happened which I had not been prepared for.
So this is teacups. Now we jump
Was
all the way
I?
up here? Yeah.
Oh shit. A series of floating hemispheres appeared around the room in an ascending pattern leading to the exit. This was the one part of the encounter that everyone had forgotten to tell me about. I'd heard them mention the teacups, but there wasn't any more detail than that because the assumption was that it wouldn't be a problem. No one thought to mention that there was a jumping section in the middle of this timed encounter. Remember this? And this? Yeah, I still hadn't exactly mastered the Warlock jump, and while the rest of my team deftly made their way up these teacups and moved on to the next stage of the fight, I struggled to jump high enough to even make it on top of the first one. I'm so far behind you guys.
Ate
That's
my
okay.
jump and I don't know why.
It's all good. We're gonna kill ads and do as much as we can, but you guys just hurry the fuck up.
No pressure then. I watched their player indicators get further and further away from me as I tried desperately to so much as make it onto the first platform. Oh my god! I can't get up there at all!
No, you can do this. This is why they're the teacups and the
These
worst
are the
part of the
teacups.
raid.
Fuck!
You got this.
I got next. What was one?
You got this, Nick.
After what felt like 20 tries, I finally made it onto the first platform and started aiming for the next, only for it to suddenly flip over itself and dump me right back onto the ground. Meanwhile, I could hear the rest of the team timing their callouts for tearing down Shurochi's shield again. No!
You're okay. You're fine.
I'm so far behind!
No, it's all good. Just keep trying to get up here. As soon as you get up, you're good.
Eventually, I made it onto the second platform, then the third, and finally over the lip of the wall and out into the courtyard. The rest of my team were nowhere to be seen. In the time that it had taken me to make it to the top, they'd fought the boss all the way around the outer rim to the other side of the building. I started running as fast as I could, listening to them preparing to take down the shield, and as I finally rounded the corner, I was just in time to see Liam, Arcade and Mad Dog firing the crystals and forming the triangle. The shield came down just in time for me to pull out my sword and leap into the group with the best one-liner I could think of. Hi, sorry I'm late.
Hey, man.
Good timing.
So, here's the thing. I went into this game wanting to hate it. I wanted to hate it so bad. You know when you've missed the boat on something that everyone else is doing and you try to find reasons to hate it, to justify to yourself that you didn't want to do it anyway? Yeah, that was me. Destiny is a first-person shooter. I'm not into first-person shooters. It's an online game. I'm not into that either. You have to cooperate with other players and pull your weight. Fuck off, I'm a strong independent boy. But I think the thing that's the most frustrating part of all of this isn't the terrible tutorial, or the clumsy menus, or the fucking ridiculous warlock jump that still doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's the fact that I left it so long to give it a go, and if it weren't for Liam annoying the shit out of me about it, I never would have. When we finished the Shurochi encounter, my heart was pounding. When we finished the raid, it was pure elation. I know it's just a game, but this experience literally unlocked a new dimension to video games, my favorite hobby, that I had never ever allowed myself to experience for the most bullshit of reasons. As a result of this, I've started playing the types of games I didn't think I liked, and as a result of that, I've made so many more new friends. And it turns out, if you find the right people to play with, and I'm lucky enough to have done that, online games aren't the absolute cesspits of the worst humanity has to offer. Actually, your friends just want to play with you, and they want you to succeed. And when your friends hype you up and believe in you, the experience is better than ever.
But Nick did everything perfectly, which is really great. He got it first try.
Microtext, you have to hold it. You have to hold it. And just
Okay.
You need to do some smashing.
What the?
Nick is killing it, guys.
the exhibit.
It's crazy. Nick is absolutely killing it.
I wish I knew how to dance. Oh my god! I didn't know I had this!
Oh, you can dance!
The dance was inside you all along!
Oh my god! And it's not just Destiny. As a direct result of this, I've been trying other games I never thought I'd play with new friends. Chivalry 2, Dead by Daylight, Apex Legends, Overwatch. I thought I played games. I thought that's what I've been doing for the past quarter of a century or so. I don't think any of the people I've played with so far really understand how much this experience has changed playing games for me. And I'm sure it sounds so stupid. I know this is wildly popular, and I know that I'm the one who's late to the party. But on the off chance you're like me, let me show you what actually turned out to be the best advice someone could have given me. I implore you, try something new. Give it a go. It doesn't have to be Destiny, but if it is Destiny, I know a whole bunch of people who just want to help people learn. If, like me, you've never played a game with something like a raid, try it. You might think you don't want to play with people. You might be wrong. You might think you'll let your team down. You won't. You might think Destiny 2 isn't for you, but maybe it is. Final score, 10 out of 10. I fucking loved it.